We must turn that mess around and make the other man choke. Down in flames, like the Hindenburg. One day I opened my ears. You wouldn't believe what I heard. They say your word ain't. See, you promised us great things, but only giving us a little bit. I keep your Star Striped hat as a souvenir. The uncle is dead, but I'm not even gonna shed a tear. See, right now you're the big fish, but I'm the genie in the lantern, and you get no wish. Usually you get 3, but I'm taking 1 plus the 2 that you owe me. It's so hard to feel proud. While I shed a tear, you're still talking loud. I'll never get on a boat with the man, because it reminds me of that great master plan. Oh, I haven't forgotten the last cruise we took. We end up picking cotton. You tried to play me out like a sucker, but I survived to take back what's mine, your mother. So repay your debt to us. Mama so light, cause all the nuts that you busted. You violated our blood and plagued us with acne. So who's the real savage race? Please tell me, what race is really your mind state? So the mess you bumped up is the mess you're gonna have to face. See why I'm so upset? Because you brainwashed my people, talking up the side of your neck. So I just sit back and light up a steam so to deal with the pains and the rage in the ghetto. Knows what tomorrow's gonna bring. Our heads are filled with these false hopes and dark dreams. The rage in the ghetto, it drives me to chaos. Brothers talk they mess and get tossed. See, deep down inside I wanna change, but it's hard as hell to remove these chains on my brain. You got me thinking that I'm less than I really am. Put up a 10-foot pole and impale sand. The rage in my mind, it keeps me from crying, but inside I'm slowly dying. Because I don't know who I am, so I pick up an idol and become his biggest fan. Pattern myself to be just like Jack. I can have a big Cadillac, slinging crack. Invest seriously, and then I start rolling hard, and the rest is history. Prove very secure. Got a few keys and holding G's. Nobody can be trusted. I see with a shotgun and in my jock strap a small gap, because I'm so damn scared. Walk the streets alone at night, I wouldn't dare. Will I make it to 21? I'm only 19, my life has just begun. I got snatched up by the feds, I was slapped around, then assigned a concrete bed, and now I'm behind bars. Yesterday was the last day I would see stars, and now I'm feeling sorry, cause everything I ever did is coming back to haunt me. I'm crouched in a corner, hugging my knees. I'll be 37 by the time that I'm free. I got enough bed sheet, I'll make me a nice little noose and I'm out. One hell of a future. I fell into the hands of the plan and now it's over. The rage inside is still alive, and it'll survive until I die. And if that's tomorrow, you see, I went alone. My heart was filled with sorrow. It's a shame though, but it's all because of the rage in the ghetto. Little shout out to the underground. Took me in and gave me some knowledge. And now I'm ready. Heads up with the devil. Ha ha. Ashibu. Brothers in black boots. Stepping up. Protect.
could have saved more if they knew they were slaves, but they're true to their ways. We could have saved more if they knew they were slaves were truly engaged, but they're true to their ways. We could have saved more if they knew they were slaves were truly engaged, but they're true to their ways. Sin popped the cherry and begat a damnation. Involuntary emancipation. Man, I'm just pacing amidst the man I'm facing. I kept my standing station. Me give standing ovation. Yes, we didn't ask for this shit. Let me spit. In a way, the movement lost its way when it lost Che with the aid of U.S. Green Beret. 10-9-6-7, the execution day. I exhumed Che. From the throat, I spit notes of guerrilla warfare. Feel no remorse here. Feel the source here. Even the score here. 40 acres in a tool, and we're pushing for more shares. When Bush brings a leak, I'm checking for force there. Involuntary emancipation. The market free for white corp to do whatever it wants. You're free to spark weed mixed with Arab corner store blunts. Tall tales from Katrina News exaggerate scenes. Velvet speaker cops looting and bagging New Orleans. Power elite will shower the street, devour and creep until I defeat. Lot of mercy, repeat. The power elite will shower the street, devour and creep until I defeat. Lot of mercy. Yes, we detest, but less we test, collect the best, and we address this effing mess. We will arrest this contest, and we invest. Progress must sweat, but let no regrets to attest. Involuntary emancipation. See, we could have saved more, but they didn't know they were slaves. I don't even think they cared that they were slaves. We could have saved more if they knew they were slaves, were truly engaged. But see, they're true to their ways. Involuntary emancipation. I must confess sadly, whether it's the next tragedy or maybe next year or perhaps just the next year. I said, I must confess sadly, whether we're talking about the next tragedy or maybe next year or perhaps just...
To blow up your old paradigms. Just realized the mic was off. I'm not gonna do all that again. No. We're gonna get straight into it, family. I need to let you know that we have the phone lines open. The phone lines are open. Let me make sure I get up so I can see. I need to be able to see if there's any chatter out here. Put up the chat real quick. The only issue is I'm trying to figure out this function that I'm using because I could schedule, but the only problem is when I stream, right? I need to stream through Restream.io, and I don't want to stream directly through Restream.io because I haven't figured out the sound yet. I gotta do some virtual type cable or some shit like that, and I don't feel like doing that. And plus, I like having the little stuff pop up. Oh my God, is that Sister Jackie? How are you doing? Let's give Jackie a round of applause. It's nice to know that my old ass friends have survived the pandemic. It is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? So we are here today to discuss folk tales for grown folks, right? So, yep, man, listen, but it's cool. It's all cool. I know it's love out there. So, we are here to discuss folk tales for grown folks to get it popping off. Here we go. So, the folk tale for the day is called The Goatherd and the Wild Ghost. Now, y'all, I know we covered this. Some of y'all that's been around for years, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know we covered this. We covered all of them. I mean, shit, we got a book. The book is, the book is over 300 pages. So I know we done covered at least 300 proverbs. And this might be the second or third time going round, family. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important for us to have some of these conversations. It's important for us to fall out on some of it. It's important for us to find points of agreement. It's important for us to start doing the wisdom mining. And wisdom mining is not comfortable. If it's comfortable, you're not actually doing wisdom mining. If you're not struggling with some of the ideas that might be presented to you, you know what I'm saying? You're not really doing no work, right? Because we have to start doing work in our community, because we have to start building the culture. And the culture comes from us working on all levels. It ain't just about physical, just being able to grab physical things. It's about being able to grab those mental things, and being able to grab those spiritual things, and being able to grab those emotional things. You know what I'm saying? Being able to deal with that intuition. And sometimes all this stuff gets uncomfortable. But our ancestors have given us methods in which we can overcome them, because we got mental exercises that we could go through. This is a mental exercise, right? And a lot of times, one of the major lessons that people have to learn is to stop hiding your wisdom and start sharing it, because you never know how powerful what something you might have to say may be to somebody else. Somebody might need to hear what's on your mind. Somebody might learn something from your struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because the folktale is deeper than about goats and chickens and snakes and farmers and goat herds and wolves. It's about us. And it's time for us to really start looking at these things for what they were for. Because I keep telling y'all, when they created these things, they weren't originally created for children. They were created to educate adults. It was created to cause community discussions. It was used to teach lessons about life, right? So that the young people, not just the babies, but so that our young people wouldn't make some of the same mistakes. There's a saying that says, you know what I'm saying, a wise man, well, a smart dude can learn from a mistake that he makes. But a wise man or a wise woman learns from the mistakes of others. And what these proverbs and folk tales and things do, they give us a culmination of wisdom, experiences that our people have went through. And for us to consistently minimize them, ignore them, we do so at our own peril. Because many of the tricks, because I be looking at some of these tricks, man. Listen, watching white supremacy, watching what's going on in the right world. Thank you. I'm glad you like the studio. I've been working hard. It's like watching Bugs Bunny back in the day. See, kids don't have the real Bugs Bunny and Little Rascals, right? It's certain themes that you start noticing in Bugs Bunny cartoons. And Bugs Bunny used the same tricks over and over again. And I know some of y'all that's in my age grade, when you sit down and look at TV and be like, you will already know what was happening. You would start giggling before Bugs Bunny would do it. And you'd be like, dang, this is the same. Daffy, don't do it. Daffy, why you fall for the same? I mean, it's just a different colored dress. Daffy, you just did this 15 cartoons ago. Elmer, don't do it. But no. They fall for the same tricks. And this is what I feel like a lot of times when I'm watching our interactions with white supremacy. We keep falling for the same tricks. We sticking our head down the hole knowing there's a shotgun there because we seen it when we was little. We keep running and we run around the tree until we run into the anvil. We knew it was there. And poor Wile E. Coyote. Poor Wile E. Coyote. Let's do the war horn. It got to a point where I couldn't even watch Wile E. Coyote. And the reason I'm bringing those up is, family, a lot of those were built up off of the folk tales I'm talking about. And you laugh at them. But I want you to think, how many millionaires did those cartoons create? How many jobs did those cartoons create for that community? I mean, something that we laugh at, something that we push to the side and say, oh, that's for kids. How many grown folks' lives do these stories fund and provide them with wisdom so that they can avoid some of the same mistakes or some mistakes that they learned from in these cartoons? One day, maybe we might need to have a show where we could talk about some of the stuff that we learned or that because we had foreknowledge of it, we was able to avoid. And this story right here is a definite one. It's a lesson that some of us as adults need to get. It's a lesson that some of our young people that's just starting off out in their careers and being introduced to the world. And it's a lesson that some of our children need to learn right now. So I'm going to open up the black line. The black line is open, and I'm going to read the story. Call in and talk about, you know what I'm saying? Call in and talk about the story. If you have something else outside the story, find a way to connect it to the story, because I got to do it, so y'all going to have to do it too. So the black line is open. Let me make sure y'all know what the black line number is. The black line number is 614-556-4535. It is open. It is live. It is hot. And if you call it and for some reason I can't hear you, right, go on and text me in some form or fashion, and I will make sure it's open. But let's go and get to this folktale. We're going to go to the... Can we go to the folktale? Let's go to the folktale. We're going to go to the folktale. That's what we're going to do. The Goatherd and the Wild Goats. The Goatherd and the Wild Goats. All right, here we go. I'm going to read from my book, and then I'll get into this. The Goatherd and the Wild Goats. A goatherd driving his flock from their pasture at eventide found some wild goats mingled among them and shut them up together with his own for the night. The next day it snowed very hard so that he could not take the herd to their usual feeding place, but was obliged to keep them in a fold. He gave his own goats just sufficient food to keep them alive, but fed the strangers more abundantly in the hope of enticing them to stay with him and of making them his own. When the thaw set in, he led them out to feed. The wild goats scampered away as fast as they could to the mountains. The goatherd scolded them for their ingratitude in leaving him. When during the storm he had taken more care of them than of his own herd. One of them, turning about, said to him, "That is the very reason why we are so cautious. For if yesterday you treated us better than the goats you have had so long, it is plain also that if others came after us, you would in the same manner prefer them over ourselves." So we talking about a goatherd. He makes his living off of raising goats. He got goats that trust him, that depend on him. Because, you know, goats are mountain climbers. Goats like to climb. They could climb. They good, right? Real good. These goats trust him for their livelihood, and he takes them out to the pastures. He protects them from the wolves. He is their provider. When they can't go out, he has to have enough stores so that he can provide food for these animals. A new group of goats come and mingle with his. and he pins them all up, and he's trying to convince the new ones to stay. But in convincing the new ones to stay, he treated them better than the old ones. Anybody ever experienced that? All right, let's just look at a few versions, and I'm gonna go in. Lines are open if you want to call in, because this is an important one for us. Not only as individuals, we see the same shit in our groups, we see the same shit in our churches, we see the same thing in our politics, we see the same things in our economics. Right? We got a goat herder mentality. We got this goat herder, not just, and because all goat herders wouldn't like this, but we got this goat herder's mentality when it comes to shit. And it makes it very hard to build, because I want you to think about how those goats that were loyal to him, that suffered with him, that had been raised with him, felt. How that congregation that's been with him since the beginning, how they felt. How the team that been with him or her since the beginning, how they felt. How those constituents felt that have been with them for a long time, with this Goatherd for a long time. How that business that's been in the area for a very long time and get outshined by the new business. How does it feel? And can you build something successful with an attitude like that? I'm going to cherish the new. Come on now. We're the loyal to him, or where they simply domesticated. Were they loyal to him or simply domesticated? Either way, because that's a good question, Kwame, but either way, I got to ask you a question. Was he right? Even if they was just domesticated, was he right? Right? And if they was domesticated, who took time to domesticate them? I mean, this was possibly generations of them being domesticated, and they stuck with him. Regardless, you're right, they didn't have nowhere else to go. They stuck. All the more reason that I think maybe he should have, a wild goat is more apt to be able to take care of itself more than a domestic goat. They don't have a herder. They don't have nothing protecting them. Hell, they could survive in the snow. They used to it. They didn't need him to give them extra food. They've been out there. They know how to get it, but if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to eat it. I'm thinking, because if I wrote this story, I would have said that some of the domestic goats decided that they want to be like the wild goats and ran off with them. I think that would have thrown a little different flavor on it. You know what I'm saying? Let the goats that's been there run off with the wild goats and leave your ass. Brother Kwame asked the question, were they loyal to him or were they just simply domesticated? Because in domestication, you're right, there might not be no loyalty, there might be more of a dependence there, which is even more important. I mean, let me say, even more for them sheep. You know what I'm saying? We basically gave up who we are so that we could be with you. They chose him. They gave up their identity, knowing that they're going to be ate, knowing that they're going to have to give up their fur, knowing they're going to have to give up their milk. They gave it all to them. Hit their identity. They turned their life over. You know what I'm saying? The domesticated animals, you got to get the wild out of them. So their total existence is in his hands. But yet when some wild goats come, what he gonna do? What'd he do? Right? So, once again, one of my favorite sites, Fable of Aesop. A goat herd put his goats and wild goats and prized the wild, so fed them better than his hoping they would stay. They did not, and his goats suffered. I like how that was put. And his goats suffered. His goats suffered. All right, let's go on. I'm gonna pour me some ambrosia real quick. Get us a little ambrosia. You know what I'm saying? If anybody want to call in or anybody got any comments, I want y'all to think about this one because we don't have to. Because this is one of those, but we don't really have to be too long unless somebody call in. We don't have to be too long because the lesson is right there. This often was what happens in our businesses. This is what happens in our community. Where's the loyalty? Where's the loyalty? What should our loyalty be? Should it be with the new? Or should it be with the old that have trusted us? Or is there some type of healthy split? Let's see, Brother Kwame say, what do you think a Capricorn is? And how often does a brother or sister ask himself, hell, if she's dishonest to her boyfriend, husband, then why won't she be dishonest with me? And I think that's right in line with the statement of the wild goats. It said old friends should not be sacrificed for new ones. That's one of the morals of the story. Old friends should not be sacrificed for new ones. I see this all the time in the school. Right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You see this all the time with young people. Oh, such and such was acting brand new. When they got a new friend, when this new dude or new person came, they acted brand new. Let's see, Jacqueline. Give me your number. The number is 614-556-4535. Once again, that number is 614-556-4535. Let me make sure the line is open. Yep, line is open. Check 1 2, check 1 2. In the place to be. All right, let's move down. Let's see if they got one of those long pieces on this. Here's the Townsend version, the one we just read. And the moral for that one, old friends cannot with impunity be sacrificed for new ones. With impunity be sacrificed for new ones. The following is a very similar story with same moral but a little different outcome. This still go together despite the ending. They don't have a longer one. JBR collection. Let's see how it's different. During a snowstorm in the depths of winter, Goatherd drove his goats for shelter to a large cavern in a rock. It happened that some wild goats had already taken refuge there. The man was so struck by the size and look of these goats, and with their superior beauty to his own, that he gave to them alone all the food he could collect. The storm lasted many days, and the tame goats, being entirely without food, died of starvation. As soon as the sun shone again, the strangers ran off and made the best of their way to their native wilds. The goatherd had to go goatless home and was well laughed at by all and for all his folly. My God! Dope. I'm going to show beyond a shadow of doubt that I have not traded my old friends for anyone new. Fam, love cometh and stayeth. And you know, for those that don't know, Jackie is a writer. That's why she could put stuff together like that. Fam, love cometh and stayeth. She know how to use those old English words. But once again, the lines are open, 614-556-4535. The story for the day is the goat herd and the wild goats. Are you the goat herd? Have you ever been in a situation where you have been the wild goat or the domesticated goat? Have you been in any of these situations before? How did it feel? How did it change the relationship that was in your life? I know some of us have been the old goat and the new goat at jobs. Oh my God. Oh my God. The old goat, new goat phenomenon pops up on jobs all the time. All the time. How many of anybody ever been in a relationship where you've been an old goat, new goat? Like Kwame was illustrating a close personal relationship. New person come around all of a sudden. Old goat, new goat. You better hurry up, Jackie, because I'm running out of material. I didn't write a lot of material for this one, and I'm not trying to hold people up forever. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, people got stuff to do. I could go through the news, but I'm not going to do that. I'll say that for the Daily Toast. Oh, speaking of that, let's go to the Facebook page for a second because I want to make sure y'all see what's popping off tomorrow. Y'all see what's happening now. Upcoming live video. We already did this one. We doing this now. That's the issue. You see that? It's still up. But let's go and look at this one here. Blunt Talk tomorrow. Blunt Talk tomorrow. Join us for the conversation as we look into the question, are men naturally polygamous? Are traditional families taboo? I should have put a question mark there. Let me go on and fix that right now. Edit. See that? I want y'all to see how to do it. Y'all see that? I'm editing post. It's supposed to be, taboo? We also will discuss Floyd Mayweather, hat snatching, and white privilege. All right, y'all seen that? So somebody on the line. Who just joined me on the line? What's going on? Who this?
What up, though? It's Detroit's finest.
What's up? What's up, baby? How you doing?
What it do, Hot Tub? I'm so proud, man.
For what I do?
I'm looking at this whole thing done blew up since the last time I've been on here.
Well, I mean, I'm trying. I'm trying to learn how to do the ads and all that stuff and ad stuff and got the
man.
Got the stuff.
You educate and in more than one way. You all action, man. That's what's needed. Like, before you say anything out your mouth, anybody that's been following the situation, this education that you offering to the masses, they can see that your dedication to Black folk and this education is phenomenal, and they too can do the same.
Exactly.
With a little elbow grease and determination.
That's right.
You are the consummate teacher.
Man, girl, and I'm gonna slide you that $20 for that comment.
You can't pay me.
All right,
you know this.
I can't afford you.
You already
Jackie is
know.
a professional writer. She a professional writer. I've been trying to get her to get a show or to do an ebook. I'm telling you, family, I got a circle of family and friends that are just phenomenal. And I'm
phenomenal, man.
I'm so.
And you at the top of that list. I mean, hey, game, peak game, and hang out.
That's
with
right.
the players.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You know, Jackie, I'll be going through these tapes, and because I'm constantly. I'll be going to these tapes, and I'm listening to some of these people. That's like I'm doing 6 figures a month, and I said they don't got no more game. You know what I'm saying? And Jackie, the only thing that I be thinking sometimes is, and I know we ain't the only group, but I said, damn, I wonder what we would have been doing if we had access to all these people like they got.
I gotta turn the show off because I can't do blunt talk. Hold on, let me turn this off. Okay, getting back to you. I got you now. Hello?
Yeah. I said I just can't help but to wonder what we would have been doing. Those of us that, you know what I'm saying, I mean, that wasn't necessarily shy, what we would have been doing with all this technology back then. I'm sitting up here like, good God, it's so simple. You know what I'm saying? You got all these people out here just throwing out stuff. And I'm sitting up here like, fam, we got to do something. We got to do something because we all got children now.
Yeah. You are definitely the elder, and you are righteously taking your place as such.
Brother Kwame
This
say,
is what it looked like.
we say we refer to the condition I described as the guy or as the A guy or B guy, where the B guy is always dropped when an A guy calls. Oh man, I've been in that situation. Oh, sad me. If I had my violin music, I would play it.
Yes, please don't.
I ain't gonna do it. But go on.
All players have had their day come back to them. That's all that is. That's karma.
Oh, girl, please. You know, the last thing I was a player. I was a player watcher because I was surrounded by him. But anyway, what you think? Tell me something about.
Shout out to John Famar.
Yeah, shouts out. Yeah, Big John, my brother. I salute him every morning. But hey, what you think about? You got any stories that you can tell, or anything that you can impart, some wisdom you can impart on the listeners, far as the story that we're talking about today? Or you got some other news that you want to drop first?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I called in for clarification.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'll see if I can do some clarifying for you, sis. What's going on?
Yeah, maybe somebody else got lost in the sauce. I was trying to get my mother-in-law dinner together.
Oh, seeing you taking responsibilities and everything. All right, so
I'm a caretaker.
What you need clarification on?
They said all I remember is that he was taking care of his goats
right
better than another group of goats
right
people.
Right. So what I'll do is I'm gonna start over. So we have a goat herd who's out with his herd of goats, all his domesticated goats. Nighttime comes and he notices that he has some extra goats, which are wild goats that are with him. So he pinned them all together, and they get trapped where they at because it starts snowing, so they can't go out to the thing. So this gives him an opportunity to try to take care of the goats, the wild goats, to add to his herd. So he's, instead of feeding his goats, he gives them the minimum amount that they need to survive, but he overfeeds the wild goats. So they get snowed in for a couple of days, but then his goats aren't doing too good because he ain't really been giving them what they need, because he been giving it all to the wild goats, trying to convince them to stay. And as soon as he opened the pen, the wild goats all run away back to the mountains. And he like, you ungrateful goats. And they turn around and say, listen, if you treated your old goats like that, what are you going to do to us when a new group of goats come after we've been with you for a while? That's basically what they're saying to him. If you're not treating them right, what's supposed to make us think? And they been with you. These your day ones.
You know, I confused that to be a story of greed.
Well, it is a story of greed. Because what he was trying to do, he was trying to add to his flock. Right? And so he started stealing from who he was supposed to be taking care of and giving to somebody else. So what he was really trying to do was benefit himself, because if he got them goats, this would increase his wealth. Because a lot of people don't understand that back in those days, what you produced and what you was able to hold on to was your wealth. You understand what I'm saying? So you ain't have shekels and dollars and bitcoins and shit. You had goats and chickens and shit that you grew up on your farm. So these goats,
livestock,
these goats would have made him rich. So it was greed,
right?
You know,
I'm looking at it as also a story of popularity. It's a part of fame, almost. I want to say.
You said who?
Fame.
Right.
Like there's something you're seeking.
Right.
You think if I feed this thing, then and I'm about to make a come up, and it doesn't pan out
It
for
don't
you.
pan out.
But the part I was missing was that the other goats were left to.
Hello?
Hold on one second. Your grandpa?
Brother
Hold on one second.
Okay. Brother Kwame said had he just breeded his own, his flock would have multiplied, but since he wanted a shortcut, he ended up losing what he had. See, now the Townsend version is usually the best,
That's
but
not your grandpa?
in this particular version, I like the JBR one. The JBR talks about
first.
a
I said
snowstorm.
pop it at and then I said your grandmother and your grandfather. Where's your grandma and pop? Right. Mm-hmm. Where you get that?
You know we can hear everything
nice.
y'all talking about. Go and throw out some of them credit card numbers too, girl.
I'm sorry.
During a snowstorm in the depths of winter, a goatherd drove his goats for a shelter to a large cavern in a rock. It happened that some wild goats had already taken refuge there. The man was so struck by the size and the look of these goats and their superior beauty to his own that he gave to them all alone all the food he could collect. The storm lasted many days, and the tame goats, being entirely without food, died of starvation. As soon as the sun shone again, the strangers ran off and made the best of their way to their native wilds. The goatherd had to go goatless home and was laughed at by all for his folly. I like that one.
That could be.
Go ahead.
That could also be celebrity.
Yes. Yes.
You call yourself putting other folks down who aren't yes people, or they look like they're gonna get you to another level,
right?
And they just feeding you bull.
But
those ones that had always been there, you let them go.
There you go. See, and that's the lesson, and that's that. We could see this happening over and over again in our community. Like for example, people like just as an example, Candace Owens or some of these people that take. You understand what I'm saying? They feeding these other goats. You know what I'm saying? They're feeding these other goats, not realizing that soon as the time comes, they're gonna leave them, and they're gonna have absolutely nothing.
I was surprised, not surprised, but a little startled as to the white supremacist she's married to.
Ain't that something?
That's crazy.
See, I mean, you know what I'm saying? See, and a lot of us don't understand because we could also look at it from the wild goats perspective. The wild goats, you gonna give me this shit? Okay, I'm gonna use you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use you. You know what I'm saying? Because we really don't care about your goats either. If you don't care about them, we don't care about them. If you tell us they're okay, that's your responsibility. We didn't ask you for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to give them all that attention, and then you think that they owe you. And they're going to feel guilty and stick with you. No, dog. No.
I think using Candace Owens, so I think that's a totally different story.
You think so?
That's a whole other fable about abuse of self.
Oh man! I mean, but now you don't think you don't think this goatherder abused himself?
Well, that was the result. But you go out into the world, looking for abuse is something different, and I think that's her.
Ooh.
I think she's a sadomasochist of the racist sense.
Ooh. Okay.
Of the most racist sense.
So you saying the goatherd is somebody who wasn't necessarily looking for
it. He just happened upon that situation.
He just stumbled on it and fucked up. You said Candace out there like, abuse me, hello.
Right. Yeah.
You know
she got a poster on her head that say "kick me."
Brother Kwame say, how many brothers and sisters have dropped their loyal and honorable significant others for someone who they thought looked bigger and better?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I mean, we could look at the same thing in leadership because, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
these folk tales go from the individual level all the way up to the group level. If you just take
Mm-hmm.
time with them, and it's lessons on each one of those levels for all of us to look at.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do you ever consider using the hadith of the Bible?
I mean, yeah.
It's
I
the
mean,
same thing.
yeah. I can, but one of the reasons I don't necessarily I guide it towards something like Aesop fables or African folk tales is one the cultural piece where there's no question or argument about the cultural connection, but then also one of the things that when you start pulling from holy scriptures, it could become polarizing and totally shut down the conversation, because what starts to happen is we get experts on and people want to comment because we will get more people. But what will start to
Mm-hmm.
happen, we'll get people coming on to testify,
Oh.
and rather than argue the idea, they want to argue the history and the reality of what's being said. There's no question
Mm-hmm.
when we
Gotcha,
talking about,
gotcha.
you understand, when we talking about Aesop and we talking about goats turning around and saying, "Hey fool," you know what I'm saying? "Hey fool, if you know what I'm saying, we
Mm-hmm.
can see how you
I
did
guess
them." Go ahead.
it's the same reasoning behind elementary education being in the form of animals rather than people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
less controversial. It's straightforward. You just get the lesson. You don't have to, go through all this and that to get the
Right.
lesson.
Right, because
Hmm.
because like I said, because that's a very for many of us that's a very very touchy situation. But I do recognize that there is some powerful wisdom in those books.
Hmm.
But
And people need to recognize that they're just as much Aesop fables or hadith as what you're reading. It's
see,
there for a reason. It's not saying that it's, and that's where we get into the problem.
right there
The
you go,
literal translation.
there you go. You
Sorry if I'm offending anybody.
and because you know I was about to say something because that right there will start some shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Be like, there you go. There. What you
Yeah.
mean it's the same as Aesop fables? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like
Nah,
I
I'm
mean,
just saying it to
right,
mean that, hadith from Muslim religion or Islam, I should say, it's the stories of men. And that's what it is. The Bible is written by men. They not nobody but Jesus Christ is above who you are in this written piece. The spiritual text is there to learn from, because the men before you, as they say in the Bible, two very important lessons to me. The first important lesson from the Bible comes in Genesis. Very first thing, no amount of knowledge before it's time. You will get it when it's time for you to get it. If you go after it prior to that situation, it's going to be trouble.
mm,
Stay in a child's place,
mm,
basically.
mm,
Everything about everything about the Bible talks about levels. You know, you got another one that states was when I was a child, I spake as a child. As I, grow, I put away childish things. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
you have there is levels to every amount of learning, but the most, for me, the most important lesson of the Bible is to stay at your level until you have mastered that level and are ready to translate and understand the next level's information. That is the root of not opening your eyes before God wants you to, because He wants you actually to lead yourself by faith, not by sight. So that was the most important thing when they opened their eyes and they saw they were naked and all of this, like you say, gray matter came into the story when we
mm-hmm,
started calling ourselves being too knowledgeable.
mm.
And you can be knowledgeable and not wise.
See, we getting comments
So
already. See, you know what I'm saying? Sister, we say
the
Bible.
wisdom and
Bible sucks. You see what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Because the piece is, but once again, it's the same thing with Aesop fables. Because this is why I say our ancestors' wisdom, regardless of how it comes, is layered. Because you can't get access to the next level of the information until you are ready. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Because the story of
Right.
the goat herd, once again, will be different for us 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's gonna be different
Right.
for my son Cleve and my nephew Bub and your son if they was to have a discussion about it, because they will see different things, because their experiences in their lives will open
Exactly.
up certain windows if they were to truly engage with the material. So really,
Exactly.
the lessons are there. It's just a matter of people getting out of their feelings and getting the lesson.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because really,
Exactly.
there's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of hurt feelings about the Bible, about the Quran. Hell, in some cases, might be about Aesop fables. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Aesop, Aesop has been a safe space where we could go in and do that. Because what I want to help people be able to do is to get to a point where they could understand a fable and understand the value of it, and be able to use the same way that you broke down an Aesop fable to when you get into some of those holy books, or what's called holy books, to be able to apply the same mechanism. Step back a little bit and wait for the wisdom, and dig into the story and get that wisdom and use it in your life. See, because one of the things that Brother Kwame constantly talk about is the practical use of African wisdom. If you can't apply it, you know what I'm saying? In many cases, and people might get offended, it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We have to have wisdom. We have to have knowledge that is applicable. Or we
Well,
just
see, that
showing
was
up.
the other lesson.
Go ahead.
That's the other lesson I was getting ready to say, that the two lessons. The first being know knowledge before it's time for each person. The other is that as the men that have written all of these texts, they just show that they weren't geniuses. They show that people, human beings, do not change. And you know this because look, how many decades and centuries are these stories old and they still apply? Something didn't change.
Oh, yeah.
And it's people.
It's people. Human beings. The technology might change.
Yeah. The technology, you might not read the book on paper anymore,
right.
but you still got the book.
and you still got the same fuckery going on in your life.
Exactly. To be written on digital pages.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And all I'm saying is, I'm just, I'm a spiritual.
Right, I know, but everybody don't know that. And they be like, I'm going to turn off the show because she proselytizing.
Right.
The
Christians. Exactly. But like you
get
said,
on the black line. The Christians are taking over the show. They're attacking Brother
Exactly.
Ideal.
See out here, I see out here making a mockery of our book, and it's not, the deal. The deal is, I'm real about spirituality, and from a shaman approach, I guess I want to say. We don't really, like you say, we need to be able to appreciate and understand these stories and not just kind of overlook them as fables or little children's tales, because they're not.
They're not. They weren't created for children. I want people to understand that in many cases, children having their own place to lay down and reading stories to them is some recent shit. Because for a long time, we had to get out how we had to get down, family. You know what I'm saying? All this confidence shit that we have has always been. Sister Navita said, especially those stories about owning slaves and beating them.
Right.
Those everywhere. Those everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But I hear you. But and so when we start, because the whole piece is helping people become symbol literate, helping people to stop trying to look for truth. How can I put it? Not truth, but trying to look for reality in these things, right? Because because I have had actual discussions where I would have people spend hours of my time trying to not get me the wisdom within the Bible, but to get me to believe that this is historical fact. And when we get into that type of shit like that, you miss you miss everything. You miss everything because you're too busy trying to prove rather than being like, boom, look at this story.
Amen.
Let's look at this story.
Say it, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Let's look at the story. Let's take some time.
That was supposed to be the point.
Because
because that was supposed to be the point, that this is the stories of man. Hadith is the stories of men. They're telling their story.
Hey, first off, you call them hadith. Somebody out there pulling their hair out right now. What the hell?
Now that's not disrespectful. That's just what it is. What you think, ghosts and crows and it was, these stories are written by men.
Oh yes.
And this is the experiences that were experienced at that time, like a journal of the time of Jesus before he walked the earth and after. This thing with all the spiritual texts, they should be revered and revered as the, that if we revered these texts the way they're supposed to be, half the people that making the arguments about how we approach the information would have to be quiet, because they are not adhering to any or just parts of it, because you have to take the books as a whole. And you know how we like to celebrate the parts that we like.
Right. That's what it is, right? I mean, really.
So don't talk to me about how much, you need to reverence the Bible and you need to do this and this and that. When you approach the Bible, the Bible gives you action words. They supposed to encourage you, move you in your actions, not just the words. Like you talking about how somebody is trying to argue about the history of the book and all this and missing the whole lesson.
Missed the whole lesson.
At the same time. I get all of that. I ain't about to argue my point. Nah, we ain't about to do that, because all of this is up to interpretation, I feel like.
There you go. See, but once again, you're not allowed to have your own interpretation.
No, see, that's where your boyfriend Fanon walks in and gives you the knowledge of cognitive dissonance and how it works.
See, she threw a name out there, y'all. I hope y'all friends Fanon, right? You're like, who? See, what book of the Bible was he in? What? Friends Fanon.
My children read Friends Fanon. They love them.
For real?
And yeah, man, they crazy with this stuff, man. They so political now. They got me sitting down, shut up and listen.
Wow.
I mean, and to some, because they read, their first thing was the wretched of the earth. That's their thing. They in that right now.
The wretched of the earth. Man, how many? Yeah. Anybody else out there read Wretched of the Earth?
They in that right now, trying to make sense of the world and how it works.
Sister Navita say, eat the meat. Eat the meat and throw away the bones. That's what Sister Navita say. And Brother Kwame say, the more mature the individual, the more mature the interpretation. When I was a child, I thought and understood and spoke as a child, but now I am a man.
Word. That's how that goes.
So, I mean, we get down here at the journey. Like I keep telling people, it's not for me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality, because like I said, all this stuff is being archived for the future. And when those young people need this, conversation will be there.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. I think I may have even written it down for Mother's Day. That was actually, that's right. The verse I studied for Mother's Day was 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that is. When I was a child, I spake as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I understand as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things, you know. And that's a way of showing my progression as a mother. Even though that doesn't include, you know, that's where the Bible got me, you know, I'm riffing with it when they talk about men. There's women that need to grow up too. That they gave away childish things as well to become mothers.
Right. See, and
I was a child until I had a child.
That's going to be a major part of the conversation tomorrow on Blunt Talk. You know what I'm saying? Because and actually that's going to be it's going to be a major piece for a lot of stuff we're doing, because right now we got argument between it ain't even an argument, it's the same thing, but you know, we got the Black manosphere beefing with the conscious community now, far as because the conscious community is like men need to straighten up or in some form of fashion like that, blah blah blah. Manosphere saying that women need to take accountability when, you know, but the whole piece is that men can straighten up in white supremacy. Black men can straighten up in white supremacy. Black women could take accountability. But if we don't start creating families with an understanding of what family is for, we always gonna lose. We always gonna lose.
That's gonna be our next thing. That's our next project together. You don't know it, but we're writing a new film. We already got that script you already know about from back in the day. So we got a new script that's just popping up that's on all of this. Where we gonna I ain't gonna say too much, but we about to develop something that shows you why family is necessary and why the Bible completely, the whole Bible is about family.
It's about family.
You don't hear about one person in the Bible without hearing about 5 other generations that built that person.
There you go.
You understand? You dig me?
But check this out.
Because when you...
You ready?
I'm ready.
You had to hear the show where I talked about the connection between the Godfather and the Bible. The movie.
Taking care of family.
But now you got King Solomon and you got David. You got David and King Solomon. And the whole piece is about that whole family piece. And how did they identify Jesus at the very beginning of the New Testament? They went through the family line. See, we got people confused right now because we think relationship is about personal fulfillment. It's not about personal fulfillment. It's about duty to your family. You're supposed to be bringing strong genes and intelligence and manpower into your family and into your goddamn tribe. But because we're being driven by our balls,
capitalism,
our balls and the Kit Kat,
because
we're missing out.
That's where my kids are on. Like, capitalism is what builds the individual, not the family.
Because capitalism can't make money off of the family.
Right. They have to get the individual.
They got to separate
you. They got to separate you.
Have to separate you. And to keep and then also to keep this system in place, they have to especially make sure that we are not able to create healthy units. Healthy not units, healthy family groups. This is why I keep on screaming, tribing up. Why? Because we live life, because I've been saying this for the last few days, we live life like it's an individual sport. Life is not an individual sport, it's a team sport. Wealth is
Exactly.
not an individual thing, it's a group thing. We don't understand that shit. But Brother Kwame say we become so engrossed in half the struggle at the expense of addressing the struggle as the whole. Men and women are halves of a whole. Reintroduce rites of passage of man, woman, child, and family.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
initiation for we know what the initiations were for the young men and the older men. We know what the initiation was for the young ladies and the older ladies. But most of us don't want to talk about the initiation for the family and the tribe. That was called a wedding. That's what that shit is. It's the uniting of a
And
family.
that's why
it's
it was,
initiation.
and that's why it was forbidden.
It was forbidden. And we sitting around here thinking, oh, I need to fulfill myself. Like I just had a talk with my son today. I had to sit him down and say, listen, you know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. I said, listen, in tradition, your little privacy don't belong to you. That's family property, homie. You can't just go out and just be messing with anybody and bringing anything back.
Right.
You understand? You can't do that. You ain't supposed to be able to do that. Now, because I had to break it down to him. I said, listen, I want you to see your family history, and I want you to understand why we are where we are now. But you are new. You are totally new. So I need you to understand this. I didn't understand this because I had no men to talk to me about this. I had nobody with the knowledge to talk to me about this. But you have a responsibility as a man. Just like I gotta have to talk with my daughters as they get older. You belong to the group, and as long as you act as an individual, you are prey out here.
And unfortunately, Uncle Hatem couldn't take the boy out into the woods.
It's not too late.
When he turned, I know, I'm ready for it.
See,
but
go ahead.
We did the rites of passage for him.
Right.
And so in that ceremony, when he went off with the men and came back, he was also surrounded by the women. And the men took him out and they did whatever they did, and they ripped up all the child things. Like, I'm just now finding out just a piece of what occurred with the men. And one of them was my son used to follow those Pokemon cards. So his dad took them out there with them. I don't know what else they did. There was only one element where they did a little ceremony over ripping them up.
They tore it down. No!
They did a little they ripped them up and told him, like I said, just from 1 Corinthians 13:11.
Right.
That this
was
is
dope.
That time, my son. Yeah, that was dope. And like I said, I just found this out. That was 6 years ago.
Right.
It's 6 years have passed since then.
That was dope.
Yeah. So, and the women, when we surrounded him, at least I know about what happened in that circle. It was all about how the women, they do support you. But you are here for us. We support you because you take care of us. You protect us. You see it, and this circle that you sit in the middle of is what you are a part of. There's no breaks in it.
And what we have to do,
so that,
and another part as a responsibility for us, we have to build the circle so that when he's choosing a wife, she comes from that. She comes from the circle, because, like I said, I want you to think about this. If you think of all of the wealthy families where you get the history of it, they are selecting among themselves.
Yeah. And they are really going out of bounds when they try to branch off on their own to do something different. And that's very recent. That's
right.
Like just in the last 30, 40 years.
They cut your ass off. They cut your ass off.
Exactly.
People say, well, they ain't really cut off that boy that married Merkel Markle, whatever her name is. Shit, he cut off. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, like, until he comes to his senses.
Put more peas on there for him.
You know what I'm saying? But it's about that unit, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We like to go herd. You know what I'm saying? We saw the new thing, and we went for the flash. But one of the things that's happening to us now is that many of us are getting flash of cultural memory, and we are reconnecting back to what we originally came from, and that is gonna cause the whole world to change.
Mhm.
Because it don't take
I
all of
got
us.
you.
It don't take all of us. It
Yeah, it
takes a
does.
stubborn minority. That's it. It takes less than 10% of us to decide this is what we're going
Yeah.
to start to do. And it's
Yeah,
happening.
because but that's why I don't like to discount kids too much, and we can definitely learn from their perspective. Some of them are knee jerk, but some of it has plenty of information that, while we have not encountered it as of yet, and it sounds like inexperience at the same time, something very instrumental may occur from uh, their knee jerk or passionate responses
Oh,
to
yeah.
what is happening in the world today. So I don't, I play with them and tell them, yeah, whatever, whatever, whatever. But you got to understand, it takes experience, blah, blah, blah. But in some aspects, it doesn't. It takes something totally brand new.
That's right. And where we got that from was because how can I put it? We have been positioned as a generation. Those of us that's in the quote unquote X, whatever, what is it? The X generation, what they call us, X, whatever.
Yeah, they
Those of
call us the X. Yeah.
those of us that was born in our time period, we are, as it was put in Fight Club, we are the middle children of history. So we have, which places us in a very unique situation, especially as black folks, because we are a generation that are still considered too young to take over, but too old to belong to them. So we kind of understand the younger people's feelings and the older people. Since I was 20, since I was in my 20s, I have had battles with older people trying to put me in my place. And you
Right, and we do that.
exactly, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you know what I'm saying? And it's like still have battles with that shit. And it's like, yo, so I'm
Mhm.
understanding. So a lot of times I understand that some of this stuff. So we need to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the warriors that fight. Nigga, if you're gonna be on the battlefield, let me just at least give you some, let me help you with the strategy. I can help you with some
Mhm.
strategy. I might not be able to get out there and do it as long as you. I could throw a can and run back and grab a seat for a minute and then get back up. But I can give you some. I give you some strategy and give you some experience. We can help you remember how to do this shit. Because
But see,
go ahead. I'm
what's
sorry.
what's happening now? But what's happening now? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No, go ahead,
interrupt, but
baby.
I need to catch it. That what's happening now is that what I'm saying is these young people don't respect that process because all they see is that did not work.
Right.
If you're a teenager right now, they like there ain't nothing that uh these folks out here talking about civil rights and all that. That's a long gone era. That didn't even work out because even Martin Luther King was saying stuff about being integrated. Once it happened, he saw he got hoodwinked.
Now, but check this out.
that's that's where, and then you got these people like you know Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson.
Right.
Um, I ain't trying to disrespect, but they look at their situations looking like ambulance chasers and
Right.
baby mama drama.
Right.
How they gonna teach? How they gonna feed me anything? They
Right.
foolish elders.
Hey. Now, but let me show you how it's working. You ready?
Mhm.
Your baby's reading Wretched of the Earth. Right?
Right.
You don't think that's a major change? You got young people in your house reading Wretched of the Earth. We got young people programs. We got young people around that are looking at because we are the culmination of all that worked. We what the hell is that?
Oh, that's the TV. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Let me turn it down. My mother-in-law TV.
we We are the culmination of what worked and what didn't work. And they could see it active in our lives, and we're able to influence those next generations. They shouldn't repeat the shit that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But
that's true.
We have the young leaders in our houses.
Look, I just found this out for my kids that they call the X generation the lazy generation.
We are the middle children.
that we have no significant leaders or representation in revolution in our generation.
Because we have been fighting. I mean, they need to understand that. We were in the war. Not only were we in the war, we have been fighting, and we have had, how can I put it? When we were born, lives started being extended. So we would have people hold on to leadership. We still got that.
Yeah, way too
85
long. Way
to 90. They 85, 90 years old. And when we try to start something, their group are in positions to squash everything that we're doing.
Right. And that's what I was saying, that the young people of those old people, I always give them this example. When I was on the Maryland Student Legislature in the pre-law society, the girl stood, white girl. She's probably, I want to say not more than a sophomore. So she's like 19 at best. Stood on 2 feet on the House floor, Maryland State House, and said, there is no need for anyone here to feel bad about their elders owning slaves. My family, we own slaves and we proud of it.
Shit.
Now come on now. There's a fair amount of black folks in this room.
Right.
So we sitting here with our mouths wide open because this all got started because somebody wanted, I guess, in our delegation from Morgan, they wanted to erect a black figure like Frederick Douglass at the state capitol. And so all of this discussion had started, and somehow it got to her making that declaration. And the thing that I was making, the point I was making to my kids was, as long as the generation, those old people and their ideas don't die, that system won't die.
That's right.
And she is a perfect reflection of that system. Her grandfather or great-grandfather, actually probably her great-great-great-grandfather was the one who owned slaves, and she is still standing here at 19 years old, very proud of that situation and all that it entails and what that system looks like. Because I'm sure with somebody being that sure of themselves at that age to make that declaration on the Maryland state floor, that she has been versed in what exactly were the mechanics of enslavement in her family.
Right. But then also
Maryland being...
Make sure your children know, right? Because they call us the lazy generation. But please, let my nieces and nephew know that they would not be rocking anything if it was not for our generation. Because the very music that fused them came from us. We had, matter of fact, all that shit we had to create underground, and we had to spend our time pushing that shit up through the motherfuckers that was blocking us within our own families, blocking us from moving to where we needed to be. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, regardless whether we're talking about black consciousnm, whether we're talking black academia, whether we're talking black politics, whether we're talking black business, you know what I'm saying? We got boomers and the generation before the boomers that have been blocking us and still in many cases are still blocking us. And these generational pieces are in a sense false identities. They're falsities. But the issue is that you can see certain people with certain philosophies that were influenced by the times that they came out of still in operation. And you can see it all the way up to this day. I mean, I remember one time you said
Right.
something to me when we was talking about wealth one time, and you wrote it on a timeline, or whether you said called in and said it on the show. You said it all becomes real when a person dies, and you look at and you get the credit card bill.
Ignorant.
No, but the truth of that is that we come from a group of individuals that lived well-financed illusions.
Mm-hmm.
They
Absolutely.
because of the credit and the way it expanded and the little bit of money they was able to make in their lifetimes, they were able to live in an
Mm-hmm.
illusion, and in many cases fuel some of our illusions. And fuel,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
now it's running out because there is no money for our kids. And our kids is like, what the
Right.
fuck was y'all doing? Well, we was creating hip hop and making sure your ass was rebellious enough to notice this shit. How about that?
Word. Word. Because there is the upside. I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Also, is that the reason why we have some connect. Like I feel like we're really disconnected from the baby boomers, especially those born in between 1944 and 1954. We have a disconnection with them, and we needed them. We needed their advice and guidance, especially when it comes to work ethic and things of that nature, and how to maintain a family.
Mm.
Because what I used to say is that the black family, and this was probably in 2000, I was saying the black family, come on, let's be real, but maybe 60 years old. We ain't even got 100 years under our belt
See,
consistently.
ooh, see,
So
ooh, say that shit again.
that's the,
Say that shit again.
that's what, now that we don't have, we might be turning the corner right now at 100 years of black family. We might. And that's a strong, and I want to take it back maybe at this point, maybe 80. But we don't even have 100 years of consistent black family. Now, when you look at that as your reality, you know you got a long way to go. Because you're in competition with people who have been ingrained with family in almost every other culture on the planet.
Producing 18
outside
years
of the
old.
African American family.
Producing 18-year-olds that could get on the Maryland state floor and say the shit that you just described.
Word.
With pride and certainty.
In the face
Of black
of
folks.
those. Yes, in the face of those. You are, as I stand before you, you don't even realize my ancestors are here listening with me, to you.
Mm-mm. And I don't care. You know why?
She don't care.
I don't care.
Because they are here to service me.
Right.
I want you to realize that.
Right.
You aren't here to stand with me. You're here to service me. That's their whole disposition. And every single element of that reality. So I mean, like I was shocked and I wasn't shocked all in the same moment.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy when that shit happened?
That's very
That's
crazy.
called being in awe.
Right. In a bad way, though.
In a bad way.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way. Your mouth just dropped. Be like, I should be. I really don't know how I feel.
No, what? Yeah. That's where it was. That's exactly where it was.
Shit. But hey,
I can't.
Go ahead. Go.
I can't wait to see what they do with this, because, like, with hip hop being so multifaceted and having so many branches from the tree of rap, which was our real deal before somebody whispered capitalism into the rap.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody came and made them whispers, because I'm not proud of hip hop.
Oh.
I'm not. But rap, all day. I love Run DMC to death, but they the ones really opened that door. They are the ones who opened that door.
that was more rap than hip hop. Hip hop is the one that
No,
I
no,
think
no.
connect to a
Don't be
culture.
don't be mistaken, brother. Because who else? Next, okay, maybe what was this? I'm gonna say, shoot, more than 30 years later. Did you ever hear somebody's whole song be about the brand?
No.
The first time you heard the brand was my Adidas. That
Right.
said it all.
Right. But what I'm saying is that wasn't. What I'm saying is that
Look,
wasn't
the
hip
next
hop
time
though.
you heard that,
That wasn't hip
that is
hop.
hip hop.
That was rap.
That was the beginning of hip.
That was
nah,
no.
man.
That wasn't the
That's
beginning
what
of
I'm
hip hop.
saying. That's the
Hip
no,
hop
I'm
got the
saying
5
that's
elements.
the inception.
That's the inception
That's
of
the
capitalism.
inception.
And
Because
capitalism
the
can only
next song you heard
was
look, the next song you heard was "Walk This Way,
Right.
Talk This Way." That was hip hop. That was the inception. Because once they got signed on the dotted,
No, I can't.
yes,
No.
yes.
No.
Who else did it? Who else?
No,
crossed
but
rap
listen to
over
me.
into
Listen
to
to
make
me.
hip hop? That was
Listen.
what?
Hip hop has elements.
Yeah.
Rap is an element
Many.
in hip hop. Exactly. Rap is an element in hip hop. Rap was the one that capitalism was able to grab, so it was the rap branch that was able to be capitalized. So it's not hip hop because you still have the grounds, which is hip hop, which it came out of, that is still there. So you can't really blame hip hop. You got to really look. I mean, you could blame the whole thing, but it was rap that was commercialized, and it's these rappers that have
right.
no connection
Rap
to the
had
culture.
a baby, and that baby is called hip hop.
No.
Yes.
Hip
It's
hop
two
had a
separate
baby.
entities.
No. Hip hop had
No.
the baby, and
Rap
the baby was
had a
called
baby.
rap. No.
Rap
Baby.
was
Baby, there was hip hop.
compromised
No.
and turned into
No.
metamorphosed into
No.
hip hop.
You got to do some
hip-hop
research on that, baby. You got to
came-
research on that.
No,
that's
just looking at the
So
reality.
you saying that it was
It's
rap
just not-
before hip hop?
right?
No.
The last
No.
poet. That's rap.
No,
we
that was
doing
poetry.
poetry.
That
we
was
were doing
poetry.
Poetry had a baby.
Right.
It was called rap.
No.
Rap then had a baby,
No,
and
that
it's
was called-
called hip hop.
Oh, no.
It was the ultimate compromising of rap.
Hip
And
hop.
we have sold it down the river ever since. We branched into corporate rap.
No.
We didn't even name it hip hop. We didn't name it hip hop. Who black folks don't get that corny.
You said, back in the day, hip hop. Listen, back in the day, hip hop wasn't a corny term. You need to, hey Jackie, I'm serious. You need
Really?
to yeah, I'm serious.
It's always been corny to me.
Oh man, listen.
It's always
Hip
been
hop,
corny.
hip hop was the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is a culture. Like I said.
Yeah, but what I'm
rap,
saying is rap is nice.
Rap
Rap
had
grew
a
up out of
baby.
that.
And it was hip hop.
No,
and hip hop has branches into all different levels of
Because at the same,
experimental
so you saying there
whatever.
was no,
You have
you
all
saying there
kinds
was
of
no,
genres of hip hop.
You saying there was no breakdancing prior to rap?
Wait a minute. What does breakdancing have to do
With hip-hop?
With rap?
No.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is,
hip-hop.
see, now, when you look at hip hop has elements.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop was the culture out of which rap grew. Breaking came about
Right.
because they used to
We
break.
agree.
Right. Hold on. Breaking came about because they used to dance on the break beats, which required the which required the
that
DJ.
came from rap.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, listen. And also, people rapped on the break beats. So before really there was any, before really the DJ and the dancers and stuff, there was no, all that was hip hop. All that was first. Then you had rap come up out of it. Rap was not the genesis.
We're going to agree to disagree.
That's
because
cool.
I think you haven't. I don't think you watched the episode of The Get Down.
The Get Down. You talking about that movie on Netflix? Matter of Matter of fact.
Absolutely.
All right,
The
cool. Wait,
movie on there.
stop. I got a question for you. In that movie,
I'm just
I'm about to say,
playing.
because I'm about to say in the movie, we know Homeboy was trying to hook up with a DJ. There was no rap.
Yeah, because rap was always about the DJ. It was
No.
It
Hold
didn't become
But
not
before,
about the DJ until hip hop jumped off.
No, until rap broke off
goodness.
from hip hop. See, because DJing was part of hip hop. A graffiti was part of hip hop. Breakdancing was all that came up out of hip hop, which was the culture that young people, that our generation started.
So you're
creating.
telling me that hip hop is 40-some years old,
Hip-hop,
like 45 years old. That's what you're trying to tell me. Hip hop
yes,
is 45 years old.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's older than that. I'm telling you, it's older than that.
I don't know.
Because the
break and who's in agreement with that? Who out there is in agreement with Hot Tim?
Well, we got Tiandra.
Show yourself.
Hip hop had on my show. You know it's gonna be prejudice. You already hell. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like going to Mar-a-Lago asking people to vote against Trump. You know what I'm saying?
That's an easy job. You know they ready. They want him out of there.
Out of Mar-a-Lago.
So don't use that as an analogy. Yes.
That's his
place. They want him out. That's been in the news since. Oh man, where you been?
So you saying my people want me out? Tiandra, you done turned your back on me? Tiandra? Kwame? Navina?
You ain't got it right.
I'm telling you. But no, Tiandra say hip hop had a baby for sure. Rap is the compromise result of capitalism and white supremacy. Not hip hop. It's not hip hop, baby. I'm just telling you. Because hip hop includes graffiti writing. It also includes the knowledge. That was the shit that, when we start talking that God shit and all that is, and the consciousness being fused with the music in a way that it was, that's hip hop. That's not, that shit, all that shit was a result of the culture. Rakim was a result of the culture. Eric B was a result of the culture. KRS-One was a result of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Rap is one of the tools that they use to spread the culture, and that is what was captured by capitalism and utilized. Breakdancing for a little bit too, because I know individuals that was making good money off that shit. You was able to make a living. I have to agree with how Tim, hip hop was well seasoned by the early 80s. Hip hop. I was involved then, that was my shit. But I am old. I have to get ready for bed. I'm old, baby. I gotta go to bed. And
dang, it's that bad now?
Oh, girl, listen.
It's a 9 o'clock bedtime.
Oh yeah, listen. I mean, because think about this. I gotta get up.
Down with the Bengay?
Oh no, I ain't doing the Bengay yet. But the I still have to. How can I put it? I get up and do my show I try to do it by 5:45. So I have to. If I really want to get at 5:45 on the nose, I gotta get up at 3:30. So so but family.
So what is your routine at 3:30?
Well, shit take me about an hour to get ready for the show.
For 2 hours?
Oh yeah, but I still gotta iron clothes. I have to get ready for the day. I have to take a shower. I gotta take a shower.
Yeah, I got you.
To look this good, I got to work hard.
Oh my goodness. All right, I hear you, brother.
Gotta invest time.
I need to talk to you in private.
So
hit me up.
Yeah. All right, baby. All right, family, I want to thank y'all for joining us. And once again, I want to remind you that you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty, in the home of the stubborn minority, in the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Giami Journey Media. Anime. Must have fell asleep. Of course, this has been Folktales for Grown Folks. We want to thank Sister Jackie for calling in, but family, it's the heart of a simple production. All day, every day, we strive to blow up your old paradigms.
Women, but most important goddesses were black, not just for the African now, in the civilization of the Greek. The Greek was so profoundly affected by the African was a black woman, Artemis. The goddess of wisdom was a black woman, Minerva. The goddess of beauty was a black woman, Diana. And many of their great mythological figures which were critical to the vision of history, the history of the Greeks in the Odyssey. The woman who has the power to draw Odysseus and all his crew into her is Circe, who is represented as a black woman with African features on the Greek vases. The woman who helps Jason win the golden fleece is a black woman, Medea. The woman who marries Perseus, the Greek hero, is a
What is a lion without his pride? What is a whale without his pod? What is a monkey without his troop? What is a wolf without his pack? The answer is very simple. They are the same thing that a human being is without a tribe. Pray.
Peace, family. Yo, thank you for joining us. Right? And I'm thrilled to announce the fact that we are now releasing our first free e-course. Come and learn about Geometry Journey, see some of the stuff we do. Come and join the tribe. Tribe up with us and check out the free e-course. We'll make sure that the URL pop up right about here. And it'll probably be somewhere in here. Check us out, family, because we are building. Come and learn about Geometry Journey, and let's build together.
Vargani. Bombskin & Co. is the true definition of self-care, self-love, and repeat. We are what we create in this life. Bombskin & Co. chooses to create something innovative and unforgettable. Check out our website for more information.
Spirit Over Flesh LLC is a wellness-based business where we heal through words. I'm Tiandra. I'm the founding servant leader. It is a Black-owned, woman-owned business that was founded in Ohio, but that can serve the world. Through virtual sessions, either by phone or video conference, we have a conversation. We always start with a 15-minute consult where we just make sure that I learn a little bit about you, you learn some about me, and then we schedule some time to be intentional about your wellness journey. During the time, it's about education and empowerment. You are your own best doctor from within. So I'm literally someone who is just intentional in the space and drawing questions out of you to get you further on your wellness journey. Sessions are typically starting at $80, but if you mention Kwanzaa 2020, we're gonna go ahead and take 20% off. It's about getting you well so that we can be well, right? Kujichagulia and Ujima, collective responsibility. So grateful for the opportunity to support you in your wellness journey. If you're interested, go to my website, spiritoverfleshllc.com. There's a button that says Let's Connect. Fill out the form and I'll get right back to you. Again, that's spiritoverfleshllc.com. I look forward to supporting you in your wellness journey and healing through words.
Are you heading out of town or have a special occasion? What about birthdays, anniversaries, or reunions? Get the best deals and inexpensive rental car rates, midsize sedan, compact cars, and more. We have a variety of fleet vehicles to accommodate any and all of your rental car needs. Make a reservation today at your local budget rental car on Hamilton Road in Whitehall. Call 614-863-7500.
Happy Kwanzaa. I'm Carla, and my sister Karen and I own Two Natural Sisters. We've been in business for 5 years, and we sell a line of natural bath, body, and candle products. Let's take a look. Follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, at Two Natural Sisters. All items that are in stock will be shipped within 24 to 48 hours. As a promotional item, we offer a CD of Black romantic poetry of self-love and coupled love, and 50% discount on Sister Locks, Brother Locks by consultant Sapphire Donetta Mahadi. If you have any questions, you can reach us at customercare@twonaturalsisters.com. Enjoy and happy Kwanzaa.
What's going on? My name is Doe. I am the owner and creator of Madeline Gin. Madeline Gin is best described as a celebratory art experience that exudes hella blackness. Initially, the company was founded to provide a luxurious but affordable art experience, and has since transformed itself into something a bit more spiritual. By walking in what I believe to be my truth, I've been able to get in contact with my ancestors and use my platform and my art, my gift, to tell their untold stories. I do that by using different textures, by utilizing different mediums, colors, and just making things pop out so that it's open for interpretation. I love, 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 love creating, and I can't wait to be of service to you. Thank you.
I am a genius. My ancestors were geniuses. My ancestors have made me a genius in all that I think, say, and do. I must declare myself a genius. I am a genius. Whenever I am myself, I practice my geniusness and do great things. All my thoughts, choices, and deeds must express my geniusness.
I am a genius. My decisions must always be in the best interest of myself, my family, my people, and my God. Only then will I and everyone I know that I am a genius.
I am a genius. At all times, my geniusness must reflect my culture. My geniusness must serve my God. My geniusness must make me be one in love and harmony with my family. My geniusness must protect my people. Yes, at all times I must demonstrate excellence because I am a genius.
The Purpose Driven Society is a Black-owned, woman-owned business local to Columbus who creates accessories that have intentional messaging. Our specialty are buttons. Buttons can be worn anywhere, on a shirt, on a book bag, on a hat. The beautiful thing about buttons is that you can change them and switch it up depending on your mood or the day. For Election Day, we wore a very intentional button. On my book bag, my student's book bag, it says, "You are already intelligent, educate yourself." Buttons are empowering with the messages that we create. Again, we do them very intentionally. At the Purpose Driven Society, we're minding our Black-owned business and hope that you'll help mind ours too by doing business with us. Our buttons go for $3 for one, $5 for two, $7 for three. But if you mention Kwanzaa 2020, we're doing a special where you'll get an assortment of buttons for just $20, and we'll ship anywhere in the country. So again, that's the Purpose Driven Society. We can be reached at thepurposedrivensociety@outlook.com. Send us an email, and we will put together a very intentional bag of buttons for you and ship it straight to your home. Happy Kwanzaa. Thanks for doing business with us.